Today we are blind ranking NBA teams' panic meters. Which team should be worried? Which team should be chilling? Let's get into foul trouble.
James, we're about to change the game today.
Are we?
As a podcast, an audio-based podcast ever blind ranked before?
I don't know.
Maybe
some niche podcast is blind ranked something.
But we're bringing it to the big time today. I'm telling you.
We are. So today, Max is going to give us 10 NBA teams. Patrick and I are going to blind rank them based on how much they should be panicking.
Yeah, panic meter. Who is a 5-alarm fire and who is chilling?
Yes, but before we do that, we're going to do Best Take, Worst Take, our segment where Patrick and I find the best takes and the worst takes from the NBA media landscape, and we rank the worst takes. At the end of the month, we choose who had the worst take of the month. Did we decide who had the worst take of November? I don't think we did.
We did not yet.
Should we pull up the November worst takes?
Yes, let's
do it. So I'm not gonna lie, Patrick. While Max is pulling that up, I could not find a best take this week. You said you found a bunch.
Yeah, I found a couple.
I found so many worst takes.
Let me tell you my candidates for best take of the week. One that I didn't even write down was the Anthony Edwards kind of explosion at the media
and the fans,
where he talked about how his team was soft, not in the sense that they are soft on the court, but they are soft because they cannot talk to each other, which I just thought was like a really honest way to talk to the media that I don't think happens very much anymore. He was like sitting in front of his locker, shirt off. It felt very like 2005. I appreciated that, but I didn't think it was quite best take material. Bill Simmons, the pod god, came off the top rope with a Caitlin Clark is a bigger star than any NBA star under 30, which I liked.
That's a crazy take.
I honestly kind of feel like it's true.
I don't know. That's a crazy take.
Like, obviously not LeBron, obviously not Steph
under 30, yeah.
And Giannis, but like...
A bigger star than Luka Doncic, though?
I feel like kind of. Like, if you're walking around in like a mall and you're like, do you know who Luka Doncic is? Do you know who Caitlin Clark is?
That's true.
I feel like Caitlin Clark. But as we roll along, Jaylen Brown was another candidate I had for this. He said just like a killer line about the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, I saw that.
It's hard for teams to be great when some of their best players never play back-to-backs.
I was debating putting that on worst take, not because the take itself is bad, because I just kind of hate Jaylen Brown's like weird, like holier than thou personality mixed in with like sniping at dudes. Like, yeah, I agree with the take 100%, but like your whole persona in that, I don't know.
He plays a lot, and I like the any animosity between like
those two
historic rivals. I'm in for. And then Tim Hardaway, the senior, he was quoted on the Mark Jackson show, because apparently Mark Jackson has a show now. Who doesn't? He was asked about the problem with load managing in the NBA, and he said, they don't drink enough milk, which I just thought was funny.
Great old head take.
Yeah, it's just
that's
like,
my best take for there.
Yeah, so I think we can leave best take with Tim Hardaway Sr. for this week. What did you have as your worst take?
Whoa, let's get to the worst takes of November.
Oh, that's right. Right.
All right, so for the worst takes of November, we've got Austin Rivers saying Cat is more skilled than Jokic, which is a tough one.
I think. All right, let's hear the rest.
And then we have Bronny only playing in G League home games.
Oh, that was a bad take for the
such
Lakers.
A bad take.
Pretty bad. And then Shaq doesn't want to box with Dwight Howard because he doesn't want to have fun, which we're kind
of a weak one.
Kind of a weak one. And then we also had Rashad McCants saying Russ is statistically the best point guard of all time.
I feel like Austin Rivers is the easy winner of worst take of the month.
Even in spite of Rashad McCants saying that Russell Westbrook is the what was it? Most
statistically the best point guard.
Statistically the best point guard?
The Rashad McCants one maybe is a worse take, but I feel like I'm putting these takes into context of Austin Rivers played in the NBA recently.
With Nikola Jokic. And Karl Anthony Towns.
Like, that is such a flagrantly bad take that I feel like his entire podcasting career is discredited. That's like the most idiotic thing an active player could say.
Yeah, I just struggle with that. Like, that Westbrook take is really, really bad.
The Westbrook take is
statistically horrible. Like,
Yeah,
what about John Stockton? We want to talk about like weird inflated statistics.
Yeah,
What about Mr. I have like 70 bazillion assists that we don't even track how close Chris Paul is. We're just like, yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, the McCants one is bad. I mean, they're bad. I just feel like the Rivers one, it's like, you fucking played with these guys.
Yeah.
I don't know, Max. Tiebreaker, McCants versus Rivers.
That's tough, man. I guess I got to go with Rivers. I'll take Rivers.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. I'm not mad at it. I just needed to push back a little bit because that's Rashad McCants. You're lucky you're getting away.
like Cat knows that that's true. Like Cat wouldn't fight that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I think what just bothers me with the Austin Rivers is it gives the like real hoopers know energy where
Yeah.
it's like, well, you see, like Cat's more skilled, but it's like, okay, dude, what is skill? Like losing or winning?
Yeah. What about
What are we
defense?
talking
Yeah,
about?
we can even throw defense into this. Like Jokic is way better than you at defense, Cat. Like that's a rough look.
Okay. All right. So I felt like this was a bad week for takes and not even necessarily for the media, but I'm going to go the NBA itself. I have a
Okay.
lot of bad takes. I don't know where to start. I'll go with the soft one. John Morant said he's done with dunking,
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
which like is just caps. It's just, I don't know if it's that bad of a take because he's going to dunk.
I
It's
hope
John Morant.
I hope it's not true. What is John Morant without the dunk? It's like
Cool assists.
Yeah,
I still think John's pretty cool. All right. I don't know where to get. Okay, I'm having a hard time, Patrick. Did you see that TNT and NBA are going to do an NBA 2K day? They're going to like put the like NBA 2K player circles and the passing icons and
No.
the shot meters all over the
No.
broadcast.
No, I did not see this.
What the fuck is that?
It's already the worst.
I didn't like. I actually have some boomer energy today because of these takes. I have some real boomer energy. The NBA needs to stop with this gimmicky bullshit. Just stop. Just stop. Just show the fucking broadcast.
Hey, I didn't hear you screaming when the NFL had a SpongeBob Super Bowl.
This is worse. This is way worse. Why 2K is supposed to emulate the NBA? I don't want the NBA to emulate 2K. The game is horrible.
Wow, yeah, you're right. We are way too deep in like the Matrix right now.
Yeah, like what are we doing? Okay, this is my actual worst take because this one grinds my gears even more. NBA agent Bernie Lee, quote, "The All-Star game is about everything but the players, and the players who participated in it realize this pretty quickly when they look over and realize Guy Fieri is given better seats than their parents." No shit, dude. He paid for the fucking tickets. Why the fuck would the NBA's parents be sitting courtside? The whole point is for the fans. I can't believe I'm so mad today. This pissed me off so much. Want to know why? Because I feel like this crop of NBA players like cares less and less about the fans. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it feels like they don't care about the fans. The fans are the reason these guys are making $50 million a year. Like, give a shit about the fans. Play hard in the All-Star game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. I still feel like I kind of hate that 2K thing even more. I had zero. This was not on my radar before right 5 seconds ago. My worst take of the week is Paul Pierce.
You're like, let's
Just
tone it
as a
down a
human.
notch.
He said, "I've been known to break a few wills. Sent them from Cleveland to Miami." When talking about what his 2008 Celtics did to the Cavaliers. And while that is true, we all know how that ended. Fall. We all know exactly how that ended. And I don't think that was as much to do with you as it was to do with a fellow named Dan Gilbert who just completely fudged the whole LeBron experience one. But I'm still stuck on this 2K stream.
Bro.
That is so dystopian.
This is what it's going to look like. I'm showing Patrick. That's horrible.
Oh, they've even got the left trigger.
Yeah, like, why are the
bullshit.
passing icons on the screen?
And I hate The fact that they have the badges too. Can we talk about the badges?
The badges.
How people like take badges as like a real thing. Like when you're playing pickup nowadays, people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm a dimer. No, that's a fake. Like that's a 2K thing. Like just pass the ball." We're old.
No, this is so bad. I just feel like the NBA is doing so much gimmicky stuff lately.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the sports industry as a whole
True.
that is doing all the gimmicky stuff, I gotta say.
The NFL's doing the Simpsons game on Monday. It's like the Cowboys-Bengals game is like Simpsonized or something. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Who
still
even
think
watches The Simpsons?
I'm gonna be honest. That's 1,000 times better than this.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Homer
500 times better.
Homer running
300
around
times better. Like
on the field.
100 times better. Like it's at least 50 times better.
Who's calling the game?
My friends and I were joking it'd be really funny if it was like the bottom barrel Simpsons characters. Like they couldn't get Homer. So
Yeah.
it's just like Mo from Moe's Tavern or something.
Like Krusty,
Krusty.
the starring running back.
But the reason I thought the All-Star one was the worst take is I'm just a little confused. Like, so if you guys make the All-Star game, like, you don't play hard. You're expecting it to be for your families. Like, the whole point of this is for the fans. Like, I'm so confused. Like, it just seems so disconnected. I don't
Like
know.
literally, the fans get to vote
On
who gets to play.
participates. Yeah. And it's like the whole reason the industry even exists is because of the fans.
Yeah. Yeah. And them watching it on TV
Yeah.
and all of that. Yeah, I mean, if that is your offering for worst take of the week, I will back you up on this,
But it
James.
seems like we want the 2K one to be the worst.
I
take.
do kind of want the 2K thing to be just because, I don't know, it's weird. Doesn't sit right with me.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay. Yeah. NBA doing a 2K stream.
That's it.
That's it. I feel like people are going to be flipping through. They're going to think like the cameras are too good nowadays. They're going to think it's just live stream 2K.
This is the craziest. The quote: TNT Sports is partnering with NBA 2K25 to quote blur the lines between video game and real life. Why?
I don't want that in my sports. Is that a hot take?
Why?
I don't want the
that.
lines blurred
I don't want the
between
blur
a
either,
video
especially a
game
bad video game.
and the real product.
All right.
How long until we've got like oh the Cleveland Cavaliers have actually drafted 2003 LeBron as their 2K player for this year, and it's like 4 real guys and then 1 2K player that they're just like passing the hologram ball to. It's coming.
Oh my god.
It's coming.
Oh my god. At least let me witness Wemby's career before we get there.
Maybe.
Okay.
You're at least gonna see old man Wemby next to young man Wemby.
That'd be cool. All right. Should we? I think the worst take is definitely this 2K stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's safe to say.
Okay. We're going to be blind ranking 10 NBA teams. We don't know which teams they're going to be on the panic meter.
You guys
That woke
ready?
me up. I was heated.
Yeah,
this
I
morning.
know. We got some good energy coming into this podcast.
Some boomer energy coming from your boy.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. First up, how are we feeling about the Atlanta Hawks?
Atlanta Hawks. Okay, so just want to make it clear. So number 1 on the panic meter is the most panicked, and number 10 is the most chill. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to put the Hawks at a solid 8
Yeah,
on
so
the panic meter.
The Hawks are 6-4, 11-11. They have found Dyson Daniels in a field, and they have incorporated him into their lineup, and he has been a huge surprise. Jalen Johnson is absolutely eating thus far this year, as like a super high usage guy next to Trae Young, which I don't think any of us really saw, but has been really effective. I'm with you, bro. We're doing this in tandem, right?
Yeah, I got him at an 8.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because this season has been about as good as you could have possibly hoped to get out of this group, and they have found themselves squarely in the middle of the NBA Cup.
Yeah, I think also too, like this draft was supposed to be pretty weak, and while Ricochet's not like lighting the world on fire, he's not. I mean, right now he's shooting 41% from the field, 28 from 3. Like you're kind of hoping his 3-point shot picks up for sure if you're the Hawks. But like, seems like he's going to be a contributor coming forward. He's had a couple of flash in the pan games so far, which I think. I feel like when he was drafted, it was kind of like that Jabari Smith, like high level role player projection, but he's kind of shown that once in a while he can put up a 30-point performance. I think like if you're the Hawks, like looks like you've got a really good crop of wings. Looks like maybe we got to figure out how they're all going to fit together. And Trae Young, he's actually put his usage down, which I think if you're kind of thinking about maybe keeping Trae Young, because it seemed like he might get moved at some point, him adapting his game to better teammates is also a great sign for the Hawks. So I've got them at an 8. I think maybe they're probably looking for what the next step is, but I'd feel good if I was the Hawks.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's looking more and more likely that they're going to be in that, like, maybe if they play above their skis a little bit, in contention for that 6 seed in the East, but definitely in that 7, 8, 9, 10 range. And they don't have their pick again this year, which I think is a really important thing to remember about the Hawks. And I mean, I think their fans just got to be hyped for them to be going into this NBA Cup game against the Knicks in the Garden. All the Knicks fans can chant "fuck Trae Young" until they're blue in the face. It'll be awesome. So we're locking in the Atlanta Hawks in our number 8 position.
All right, moving right along. How do we feel about the Portland Trailblazers?
Ooh, wow. I feel like this might be even lower for me.
Yeah, I got him at a 7 or a 9.
So right now, the Portland Trailblazers are 8-14, which is pretty good.
For them, they
pretty
want
good
to
for
be.
them.
They want to be bad.
They want to be bad.
Unfortunately for them, the Jazz have 4 wins. The Pelicans have 4 wins.
Yeah, the Pelicans just completely forgot.
So it's crazy.
Basketball.
The Trailblazers are better than 6 teams win wise. So I'm going to put them at 7. They should be a little panicked. They're a little too good at the moment.
Yeah. 7 or 6. They have some pretty good. Like one of their wins was against the Rockets.
Do we want to put them at 7 or do we want to put them at 6 or 8, 9? 7? How's 7?
7, maybe 6, just because I think they've been winning a little bit too much early on, especially with how bad the bottom of the East is.
Yeah, we can put them there. I think the thing with the Trailblazers is Klingon is looking like he's going to be a pretty good defensive player for a while, which is nice for them. And I do think there is room for them to get a lot worse quickly by moving on from Jeremy Grant and moving on from DeAndre Ayton. Because, for all the flaws Ayton's had, he's not terrible. He's not bad.
He produces.
And when you have Klingon coming off the bench and being an impactful defender, it kind of does give them that kind of like always have a big man on the court who can defend the rim to a degree, which is like kind of probably why they're the best of all the tanking teams so far early in the season. I definitely think there should be a little panic because it does look like there is a good chance they might not get into that deep lottery. And also Scoot Henderson is still bad.
Everyone was so wrong on this guy.
Yeah.
So disappointing. Like, why can we not just get a fun, gigantic, jumbo true point guard? Why can't we get an Oscar Robertson?
Yeah, he's not good. He's shooting, 46 from 2. He's shooting 32 from 3. He's 75 at the free throw line. I mean, he's under 12 points a game. I don't know. He's underwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the one thing that you could have hoped for a little bit more out of this season, if you're a Trailblazers fan, is to have gotten, like, maybe a little bit of an indication that one of these guys of the, like, Shaedon Sharp, Scoot Henderson, I guess maybe even Anthony Simons, Denny Avdia, like, if you had gotten a sign that one of them could maybe grow into being that lead scorer or maybe even like a secondary scorer on a good team. And I feel like you haven't gotten any signs that they're all projecting out to be role players.
Yeah. And I think that's what's scary for the Trailblazers is like, this is the draft to go get your 1A guy. And they're quietly, they quietly have more wins than the Raptors, the Hornets, the Sixers, and those 2 teams in the West we talked about. So they're already not putting themselves in a great spot.
Yeah.
But it's so early in the season. The only problem is like other than the 76ers, I don't really see which one of those other teams is going to be,
Yeah,
Leaping them.
who's falling down?
Yeah. Okay, next team.
Yeah, we put them at 6, right?
Put them at 6.
All right, got the Blazers at 6. How are we feeling about the Denver Nuggets?
Denver Nuggets. Okay, a topic of major
2.
conversation.
I got them at 2.
You got them at 2, so no panic meter at all.
Oh, wait, no, isn't higher
Or wait,
up super
yes,
panicked?
I'm
super
so
panicked.
mixed.
Yes.
Super panicked. You got them all the way at 2.
Yeah.
They are 5-5 in their last 10 games, 11-8, sitting at the 8 seed currently, coming off a huge win against the Warriors last night. Why do you have them at 2?
Because they have the best player in the league playing like the best player of all time, and they suck. That means
Do
the
they
roster,
suck?
They suck.
They're
That means
winning.
the roster around Jokic is they're winning solely because of one player. They're so bad outside of him.
Yeah, they are not great. Jamal Murray has been better as of late, they are now healthy, but it is such a killer for them that the Dario Saric signing, like, they're not even playing him anymore. They are completely playing Aaron Gordon as their backup 5, which used to be their big change-up once they got to the playoffs. Is like, now we're never taking Aaron Gordon off the floor. But yeah, that does not work anymore. It's just, I don't know. It's tough to be
Patrick,
worried when you've got
their
that
offense
guy.
is 32 points, basically 33 points better per 100 possessions with Jokic on the court. That's like the biggest on-off differential like in the history of the NBA. Like, this team is an absolute just train wreck when he's not playing.
But he is playing. And that's all I'm getting at.
My point is, you cannot win with this model of Jokic and spare parts.
So they are up to 6th in offensive efficiency and 17th in defensive efficiency, which is right around where they were in their championship year. Can I push you down to 3?
Absolutely not. I'm going to give you a stat.
Really?
I'm going to give you a stat from last night's game against the Warriors. This is insane. This is LeBron-esque. This is Jokic plays 40 minutes against the Warriors last night. So that means Jokic is on the court for 80% of the game. The Nuggets won the game by 4 points. Jokic was plus 23. They outscored the Warriors by 23 points in those 40 minutes. In the 8 minutes he didn't play, they got outscored by 19 points. The margin for he has to not only outscore the other team while he's on the court, he has to make sure they're winning in historic blowouts for his team to win by 4.
Yeah, he has to be the best rebounder, passer, and scorer on the court
in the league
every night.
In the league. And that's the thing. Jokic is shooting is Jokic going to shoot over 50% from 3 the entire year? Basically the Nuggets are being held together by this guy playing at a completely unparalleled level. And I don't know. I'd be panicking if I was them. What's the pathway? What does next year's Nuggets look like? What does 2 years from now look like? He's so good. He's going to keep them out of the draft. He's, their cap situation. I don't know. What is the path forward for the Nuggets? I've been worried about them for a long time. I'm still super worried about them. I don't know. I just don't see the pathway for this team to be relevant again.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. Okay, I'll put them at 2. I'm with you. We're a team. And the numbers for everyone other than Jokic are terrifying. I'm just saying, I don't know, just to have that guy and have him at this level still, there's a certain level of calm that I think you're afforded with that.
I don't even know what to compare this to, because I was this is kind of like the 09 Cavs, but it's not really like the 09 Cavs, because the 09 Cavs, while they were terrible outside of LeBron and Mo Williams a little bit.
Are you calling Jamal Murray Mo Williams?
Yes. But relative to the
Low-key
league at
is,
the
yeah.
time, yeah, he's pretty much Mo Williams. But that's the point, though, is in 2009, the NBA had way less talent. The feasibility of that 09 Cavs team actually winning the title was so much more real than this year's Nuggets team doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's not much to trade is what you were saying earlier. It is a huge problem. Can you upgrade from Jamal Murray? I don't think so. Like,
and who wants Porter Jr.?
yeah, Porter Jr. I mean, he's still shooting 40% from three. I'd like to see him shooting, though, like 12 threes a game instead of the 6 threes he's shooting right now. Like, become that, like, pedal to the metal offensive team and just, like, live and die by that.
Yeah. Okay, next team.
Okay, we're going to put the Nuggets at 2.
And I was the biggest Nuggets homer last year.
You were.
No one can call me a hater. I was the biggest Nuggets homer last year.
The second they get Westbrook, though.
Yeah, now you're calling Christian Brown spare parts. How dare you? How dare you?
That's actually his middle name.
I actually like Christian Brown, too.
He's been great for them.
That's the crazy thing is I like the other pieces, but they're just so bad without Jokic.
Yeah. I mean, I am not, like, other than Christian Brown, I don't believe that any of their other guys are NBA players. It, like, gives me the Lakers boost energy, you know, like the Talen Horton-Tucker, like, is a trade asset energy, the whole Jalen Pickett and all those other guys.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna act like I liked Peyton Watson a lot last year. Like, I'm not gonna act like I thought, last year I thought I could see this coming. I was like completely wrong last year on where this team was.
No,
headed,
and we got there in the playoffs.
Yeah, we definitely did.
We got there in the playoffs with him for sure.
All right, so next up, let's see how you're feeling about the San Antonio Spurs.
The San Antonio Spurs.
10.
They just took an L in their last in-season tournament game to the Phoenix Suns last night, but they were very alive in potentially getting to NBA Cup games.
Yeah.
Was it knockout games? But 6-4 in their last 10, 11-10, currently in the 10th spot, ahead of the Timberwolves, ahead of the Kings, who were widely projected ahead of them. You're saying 10. I'm kind of there too. I don't know. Like, what was the purpose of this season? I think needs to be like called into question with the Spurs.
To get some adults with Chris Paul in the room with Wemby, try to develop him more. I would say I could be talked into 9 only because of how bad Wemby's been on offense this whole year, especially playing next to Chris Paul.
But even that's ticked up recently.
It has ticked up. He was bad last night. Very bad against your Suns. Very bad against your Suns.
Weirdly, the Suns have like really good players to throw at Wemby. I noticed last night they just have like guys, especially when Nurkic is not playing.
Yeah, I think the Spurs is like Castle is looking pretty promising. I know you could probably be like, well, you just said Scoot sucks and their percentages are similar. I don't know. I've liked what I've seen out of Castle more aggression, which I think is what's really
no.
game.
When you watch Stephon Castle's shot compared to Scoot Henderson's, it's like I 100% believe that shot is going to be usable.
Good. Yeah, that's what
like,
I'm saying.
throughout
Like,
his career. I'm with you.
The eye test. I just believe in Castle a lot. I talked about Castle, I think, a week or two ago. Wemby, despite all of the issues I have with his offense, still such an impactful defensive player. And
dude, last night there's some lineups that like when they're playing against Wemby on the floor, like they can't do anything. Like they just keep passing the ball around and around. Suns almost had like 5 shot clock violations in the third quarter because he can get into a team's head so much.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are in a great spot.
Yeah, I agree. I'll put them at, I feel like 9 is probably the space just in case we get a Cleveland or a Boston, right? Because, like, on the flip side, dude, the Spurs, like, there is kind of like this no man's land that I think the Spurs are approaching with this season that a lot of the time we will ding teams for. You know, we'll be like, what are you doing? Like, you're not going to get up to the 6th spot in the West, and you still have, like, not a very talented roster.
But I feel like the Spurs, though, like, another development for them that's been, like, the ultimate, like, holy shit, I can't believe this worked out, is, like, Keldon Johnson being, good again.
Has been lit.
Yeah, like, him being good again is, like, a complete game changer for their asset, play.
That's true. All
right, I'll put him at 9 just because, if we get the Celtics, we can save the Celtics for 9.
Yeah, right?
We'll put him at 9.
All right, we are going to put the Spurs at 9. Moving right along to the Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons. Let's go. We back. The JB Bickerstaff Pistons.
5-7?
Let me look at their last 10 game record. Okay, so right now the Pistons are sitting at 11th in the East. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they already have 9 wins this year. I don't know how long it took them to get 9 wins last year.
A long
but they are
time.
9-14, half game back of the 8 seed. I think they've been pretty good this year. I'll tell you, if I'm a Pistons fan, though, I'm pissed that we gave Dallas Quentin Grimes for absolutely nothing for Tim Hardaway Jr.
Pistons. I don't even know. 5, 7.
I mean, I guess this is another one. Like, what do we think the Pistons wanted out of this season?
I think they just wanted competency, and that's what they got.
Yeah, and that's they got the vets in. Cade is looking like, I think, what we've always thought Cade
Ivy
would look
being
like.
a contributor too. I feel like people are kind of sleeping on, like, there was a period last year where it looked like Ivy might not even be a rotation player at some point. So him actually playing and not being terrible and like maybe being good at times is good for them too.
We put the Trailblazers at 6, right?
Yeah. I feel better about the Pistons than the Trailblazers.
I do too, and
let's
I
put them
think
at
it's
7.
more advantageous for them to be winning than it is for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, so let's put the Pistons at 7.
Yeah.
Like, if they can get to that 10 seed, that'd be a huge thing for them.
Yeah, that would be like a playing game for this core.
Would be big.
I think is the next step. They need like basketball that really means something. Yeah. Beef Stew's playing well.
All right.
Jalen Duren.
Beef stew.
Beef Stew.
Beef
Beef Stew's
Stew.
going to be on a contender by the trade deadline, I think.
I have because I've done a lot of videos talking about NBA teams on my YouTube channels, and I'll never forget every time I used to do Pistons videos, all the Pistons fans were like, dude, don't you realize Beef Stew's going to be an all-star? Like, no, dude.
He's like 6'8", and he can only play center.
I posted a video about the Raptors, and Raptors fans were like, does Jiedel not realize RJ Barrett is good? I'm like, you guys have had the worst record in the NBA since you traded for him. Like, don't talk about RJ Barrett.
He's been dealing lately.
He's not good.
I saw he's
RJ
averaging like 30 points per game at home.
RJ
Only at
Barrett is
home.
not good. Like, RJ Barrett is shooting, I don't know. He's not
RJ
good.
Barrett is going to win a 6th Man of the Year award.
He might.
Before he retires.
He might. All right.
You heard it here first, folks. Detroit at number 7. We have now filled 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm hoping we get to some teams that have a high panic meter.
Yeah, or our list will just look bad.
Yeah, our list, we're going to look like non-ball knowers.
Okay, how are we feeling about the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Oh, there we go. Perfect timing.
I got him I'll put him at 3.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I'll put him at 3.
So they're 4-6 in their last 10 games, currently 10-10, right at 500 on the season, sitting at the 11th slot in a just like really busy Western Conference right now. Honestly, all of my fears for the Minnesota Timberwolves are rearing its head early on in the season. I think it's underrated how weird Julius Randle can make your locker room. I think we've seen that time and time again, even like as far back as like those like late stage Kobe Lakers that Julius Randle was on that team. Like,
Whoa. You are not going to slander Julius Randle for Rudy Gobert's actions. This is crazy.
I am just saying.
He is not the scapegoat.
Those locker rooms were never stable. They were never good.
You don't think that was because of Kobe?
No, not because of Kobe. I'm just saying, like, those New Orleans teams were always all over the place that he was with. And then as long as we've seen him with the Knicks, they were always all over the place. And the second he gets to...
No. He brought the Knicks back to relevancy.
Once they got Jalen Brunson...
No. The Knicks were
every
a
other
train
year.
wreck.
They had
Julius.
1 year where there was like this honeymoon period. They got to the playoffs, got absolutely railroaded by the Atlanta freaking Hawks in the first round. Then the next year, like last year, he barely played, and there's all these headlines of him like talking about how the Knicks fans don't deserve deserve him, all this bullshit.
Oh, you're being a little bit of it. I mean, the reason I can't put the Timberwolves number 1 or ahead of Denver, even if we hadn't ranked Denver yet, for me, is because I think the Timberwolves are just a misfit pieces of puzzles, but the puzzle pieces are not bad. They're just misfit, and I think they're a couple trades away from being good again. Whereas Denver, I don't see how they could make a trade. Timberwolves, like, you get rid of Gobert, who I think is the locker room cancer here.
Yeah,
Max,
maybe.
what do you think? Locker room cancer.
I don't know, dude. I don't think Ant helps this either. Like, I don't think he is number 1 on the emotional intelligence index.
Yeah, it's funny, that quote that you mentioned earlier is like the most mature thing I've ever heard Ant say, like, in his life. But it's just like, we're soft because we can't communicate. It's like, wow, Ant learned about communication. Wow, okay. But
is he solving that problem?
I feel like hold on.
I liked it.
Whoa. Ant was like totally great locker room guy last year. He was like super helping Kat become a more mature player.
No,
I
for
feel like
sure.
we're being a little down on Ant now.
I'm sorry. I am never
Guys, we have
a
an
believer.
anti-vax fuckhead Frenchman who's the clear scapegoat here. What are we doing?
That is important to mention here, is that I don't think Gobert is like super great, easy to get along with, and like.
But you can say that same thing about how it all went well. Gobert was there last year. Like I think it's everybody. I think it's a bad combination of like personalities, and it's a bad fit on the floor. If I'm the Timberwolves, you're going from a clear finals contender last postseason. Like we all picked them to win against the Mavericks in that Western Conference Finals. To like, would you pick them to win? Like right now, would you pick them to win a playoff series?
Depends who they play.
I wouldn't. I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
I'm still a little higher on them than you, I think. I mean, I still have them at the top of the panic meter.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Which is funny
3
that we
is the
agree.
right place. With just how we've built out this panic meter
It's
thus
funny
far.
that we agreed, but we're yelling at each other more than any of these other ones. This is a feisty episode.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I feel I guess I'm panicking if I'm a Timberwolves fan, but I have them at 3 because I feel like they should be better regardless of the pieces on the roster. Especially when Ant was, I don't know if he still is, but was shooting the ball so well from 3, which should have helped some of the spacing issues that Randall Gobert has. I think the reason I'm not totally out on the Timberwolves, I just feel like they can make a move to like make this work. I don't know.
They could make a move to make this work for next season, I guess is where I am. But like, I don't know. It just hurts me as like, if I'm a Timberwolves fan to already, we're 25 games into this season or whatever, and it's like, oh, we could make a move for next season. You guys were finals contend, like you guys were top tier inner circle contenders 6 months ago.
So here's why I can't panic if I'm the Timberwolves. I really can't. Their most played lineup is the starting lineup with Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Randall, and Gobert, and that lineup is actually really good. They're outscoring teams by 7.5 points per 100. The lineups that are Reed and Gobert are still really good, 34 points per 100. The lineups with Randall and Reed are really good, 16 points per 100. So yeah, the worst combo is the Randall Gobert combo, but all of their big combos are pretty good. Like on these all their most played lineups are pretty good. Like I wouldn't panic if I was the Timberwolves too much.
I don't know. I just think Mike Conley, despite the lineup data, Mike Conley has looked old this year. Jaden McDaniels has looked definitely not worth his contract. And I don't know. I'm definitely, if I'm a Timberwolves fan, I'm a little depressed watching Karl Anthony Towns do what he has done thus far in New York. Max?
Yeah, my prediction was that Kat would really struggle in New York and that Randall would excel in Minneapolis, and I was completely wrong. It was the exact opposite. But I will say that the word on the street in Minneapolis is that like the guys just aren't really running the plays that they're supposed to be running. Like they're not listening to the coaching staff.
Chris Finch tears his ACL one time and they think he's chopped liver.
I'm not going to lie. Looking at the lineup data, I'm actually less worried now. I don't know. They're good.
I think they just need to play together and figure it out and like actually run the plays that they're supposed to be running instead of just like Gobert being like, no, actually just pass me the ball. I'm right under the hoop. Just pass it to me. And then he like drops the ball and it goes out of bounds.
Because that lineup with Reed and Gobert, which was great last year, is just murdering teams this year. And like also the starting lineup is like good. I don't know. Maybe are we overreacting a little bit maybe?
Maybe. I mean, it's early in the season. No, I don't think so. Because all we hear from their players is that like things are not good. And I don't know. I believe it.
I think this could.
And the results have not been good thus far.
Yeah, that is true. So I think 3 is a fair place to put them.
Yeah, we could do this exercise 3 weeks from now, and they could be, down at 8. But I think right now it's fair to put them at 3.
Yeah, I mean, so in their last so back-to-back losses to Portland is terrible. Beat Sacramento.
That was a dark week.
Beat Phoenix. Toronto loss is not cool. Boston loss.
Phoenix win was by 1 point without Kevin Durant or Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, it's not the most inspiring thing, and I know the Lakers are playing pretty poorly lately, but beating a team that's playing poorly by 29, I don't know. You're right. I'm kind of talking myself into it, and it's not really there, but I still think there's I think my thing is if it's a locker room vibes thing and the pieces are still tradable, I just feel like they could reshuffle by the trade deadline and all of a sudden we're like, wow, they fixed the locker room. They look good again.
But that doesn't work in season, in my opinion. Like, it's so rare to be able to shuffle the deck at the trade deadline and actually have a team with any level of cohesion that can succeed in the playoffs.
But what if they
same season?
What if they? I don't know. I don't know if Atlanta does this, but what if they found some sort of framework of Gobert and assets to Atlanta in exchange for maybe some spacing or maybe one of their more flexible bigs, and all of a sudden it's okay, Atlanta gets this really great defensive piece with Gobert to anchor with Trey, and Minnesota has now more of these wingy, spacey guys. You don't think there's a world where that kind of makes them a lot better all of a sudden?
See, in that world, I feel like the defense falls off a cliff.
Well, I mean, I don't. It might fall off a cliff, but the offense would be pretty good. Minnesota,
maybe.
Right,
I mean, you're banking on let's say in this magical world that's either going to be Capella. Probably for the Gobert contract, it would have to be Capella, but it could even be Okongwu. I think you're taking major defensive steps back for guys that pretty much can do only the exact same things that Gobert can do, but even maybe worse, sometimes.
Yeah, well, so their most played lineup with Randall and Reed is pretty league average defense. It's not bad. It's just pretty league average. It's at 112 points per 100, but it's offensively, it's a firecracker. It's at 128.5. So I don't know.
But does not having Gobert cleaning up that role spot, doesn't that make it a little bit worse? I know Gobert is.
But I feel though with Gobert, we saw in the Mavs series, he doesn't do shit in the playoffs. It's not like the Mavs literally just got lob after lob after lob while he was on the court. It's not like he was out there blocking shots or doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. He's just out there doing
he's
nothing.
Okay. I don't think he's not doing nothing. I cannot sign off that if the fucking Timberwolves had Yusuf Nurkic, things are so much better.
Oh, I don't think that's an upgrade from. I don't think Gobert is bad, but I do think his playoff impact. We saw it. It's just not there. So I don't know.
I know, and yes. Okay, wait. Yes,
but the
playoff impact is bad. Randall's the same way, and we have much less cohesion and verve.
I don't know, but offense was a problem for this team. So I feel like moving the offense up. Maybe I don't know.
And now we've got Anthony Edwards, who's in love with shooting threes. What could go wrong?
Max, what do you think of this whole discussion?
Look, all I'm saying is,
please move on to the next.
I love how we are in complete agreement about where they belong, but we're so in disagreement about what to
why.
do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey, Jonas Valanciunas, what are you doing later?
Hey, back off. He's mine.
I think Gobert in a Wizards jersey would look kind of right. Am I wrong? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
Should the Wizards be investigated for tampering?
I don't know if Gobert...
I have a serious question. When they signed Jonas for that $10 million contract, it was so obvious it was an asset flip play to the point where he must have consented to it. Seems a little collusion-y.
I hope he has major control on where he can go. That's all I'm saying. But let me say something to the Gobert, to the Wizards. I don't think Gobert in Washington, D.C. in 2025 is what we need.
That's true. He might start an uprising.
Yeah.
He might start a political movement.
Okay, before we get in trouble, what is the next team? We're putting the Timberwolves at 3.
Okay, Timberwolves at 3. And how are we feeling about the Miami Heat?
The Miami
that's a 1.
Heat. 9.
That's a 1.
9 and 10, currently sitting at the 7th spot in the East, 5 and 5 in their last 10. Why is that a 1?
Because this team is expensive. It's not going anywhere. Butler hasn't looked like the guy. They don't have moves to... They shouldn't make moves this year to try to compete this year because Butler clearly has taken a step back. Heroes look pretty good at times. The Rozier trade is... I don't know. I don't really see what feels good about Miami's future at the moment.
I agree with you, for sure, on, their future outlook. I guess my... devil's advocate would be what were we expecting out of this roster? They're sitting at 7th in the East. That's about where they've been the last couple of years. Do you think I've seen a lot of whispers about Jimmy Butler? You think that's a possibility for them to move off of Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline this season?
100%.
Wow. So what would they would just be looking for young players in return or picks or
assets,
players that can play right now.
Gobert and 4 firsts.
Gobert and 4 firsts.
Would that fix the Timberwolves
Oh
for you?
my God. Yes, it would. No, I don't know that a Jimmy Butler
Bro,
Jimmy
Michael
Butler-
Jordan's kids playing together would be crazy.
Whoa.
Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards, and Julius Randle in a locker room.
All right, you could talk me into 4 because it is blind
amazing.
ranking. They have to be 1 or 4 though.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, my thing is just I think they should trade Jimmy.
Yeah. So what do you want from the Rockets for him?
One of the good young players.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Tari Eason is untouchable.
Jalen Green is available.
I don't want Jalen Green in a Heat uniform. Although, if there's one coach that see, the thing is, I feel like if you told me which coaches could fix Jalen Green, I'd be like Spoelstra and Ime Udoka, and I feel like if Udoka hasn't gotten through to him fully,
No, I feel like Jabari Smith is the guy.
oh yeah, I mean him and Bam would be a great pairing.
It makes so much sense defensively for the Heat. They don't even play him in crunch time sometimes for the Rockets.
Oh, the Rockets
in that
Udoka's
Thunder
rotations
game?
are hilarious, bro. Sometimes they'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna bench Sengun for an entire half.
I was laughing in that Thunder game. It was so back and forth, and especially the final minute, there was a million timeouts and fouls and stuff, and he was going offense defense with Thompson and Eason, and then pulling them when they were on offense for Green and Smith. And but I wonder, is it wise to trade for Jimmy Butler right now? Does he give them what they're looking for? I know their offense is a mess and there's a lot of Fred VanVleet going on, but I don't know. Is that the answer? Take the ball out of Fred VanVleet's hand, give it to Jimmy Butler, and go space it out with Amen Thompson? I don't know.
I think the Heat, I don't know. I think that's the problem is a lot of the teams that I think Jimmy Butler are a great fit for, I'm a little the Spurs. I think if the Spurs could find a way to get Butler, you're not going to win the title though with Chris Paul, Butler, and Wemby, so I don't think they do it. But
that would be pretty
they'd
good.
be pretty good. Yeah, but I don't think they're beating the Thunder. But I don't know. It's a lot of these teams, the Warriors. Is there a Kuminga Moody play?
See, I like that.
I kind of like that. But is Kuminga Moody really gonna get the Heat anywhere? Is a Kuminga Moody
No,
Bam team
I don't
that's
like it for the Heat.
An 11 seed year after year gonna get? I don't know. I'm just a little
Should we call Kuminga a bust? I know this is a little bit out of left field, but
oh, you're on the anti-Kuminga
I think he's a
train
bust.
now?
Yeah, I'm kind of out on him.
I'm not out on Kuminga, but I was just never that high on him.
Every time I
Warriors.
watch him, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
He drives to the rim.
He does, and he tries to hit the rim with his forearms every time he runs over there.
Okay, so Heat at 1 or Heat at 3 or 4?
No. We also have 5 available.
Okay, but the other problem for the Heat is like their good young player, Jaime Jaquez, was a senior when he got drafted. So he's already like 23 or 24. Like I just don't really see what the upside is for the Heat, especially if the hero trade market just keeps staying very dead.
I also think it should be mentioned that the top of the East is, I think, better than we originally imagined.
Yeah, the Heat
it
are
to
just
be,
so far
which is
below.
scary for them.
Like for example, the Heat are 9-10. The Bucks are 11-9. I don't even see how the Heat would win a game against the Bucks in the playoffs.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I'm good with 4.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm good
4.
with 4.
What team would I'm curious what team you'd have ahead of them though.
Okay, well, moving right along.
Wait, ahead of who?
The Heat.
What team I'd have as panic meter?
Because I would put them ahead of Denver and Minnie if we hadn't ranked them already.
Ooh, I mean, I would definitely have them ahead of Denver. I don't know if I'd have them ahead of the Timberwolves just because I didn't really have expectations for them.
Yeah.
And I feel like
They're where
they're
you
kind
thought
of
they
where
would
I
be.
assumed they would be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm curious where you'll put this next team, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks.
5.
Yeah, I think 5 is gotta, because you gotta be a little freaked out with how the beginning of this season went, but he's back. Giannis is back. He has been absolutely incredible. They are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They are now 11-9 overall on the season, up to 5th in the East. Just a game and a half back of the Knicks, who are at the 4 slot. Chris Middleton should be back very, very soon. I think this is the best we've ever seen Dame and Giannis play together. Not that has been that much, but I mean, they're starting to give like vintage Bucks Giannis basketball right now, I think.
Yeah, I will caution, because I went through the Bucks game log. It's the Rockets, the Bulls, the Pacers, the Hornets, the Heat, the Wizards, the Pistons. That's a pretty easy
not
stretch.
great. Yeah.
But I like that you win all those games. That's the big key thing is like when you play the bad teams, you beat them.
Absolutely.
Like in the beginning of the season, like they lost to the Bulls, they lost to the Nets, they lost. Honestly, at the beginning of the season, they didn't take a lot of bad losses. They had a pretty tough schedule to start out. Like they lost to the Grizz, the Cavaliers twice, the Knicks, the Celtics. It's not like they were losing to a lot of bad teams. I think their schedule has softened up. I think also, I don't know why, I didn't realize how many people seem to be on this like Dame, not hate train, but like, I don't know. I feel like people are like
wash train.
Yeah, like
I'm on that train as well, kind of.
but you don't have animosity behind it.
No, I mean,
feel
I
like
think
there's,
he's
like,
a
some
little
weird
overrated.
Lillard
but-
animosity. I feel like I've been noticing on the internet, but not like that affects maybe it does. I don't know how much they're on their phones, but yeah, I'm not too panicked if I'm Milwaukee. I mean, I'm a little bit panicked because it does seem like they're another like rough 8-game stretch away from the Giannis trade rumors really heating up.
Yeah. No, we were totally ready to do like a Giannis pod earlier this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Damian Lillard, he's averaging 26 points a game on 36% from 3 and 44% on the field, which like is about what you're going to expect from late stage Damian Lillard. He's not getting to the rim the same as he used to, but I mean, Giannis is now leading the league in points per game at 32 points per game.
Almost 12 rebounds.
11
almost 7 assists.
rebounds, 1.4 blocks a game. Like he's been way better from the mid range than he has ever been this season. I love Giannis. He's like exactly my kind of player that I love to watch.
Yeah, I also feel like for Giannis too, like I feel like kind of the last few years, it's kind of been like we've all had Jokic at 1, and then it was like, okay, maybe Luka's 2, maybe Embiid's 2, Giannis is either 2, 3, or 4, and now I feel like Giannis is back to firmly being 2.
Yeah. I feel like obviously I picked Luka to be
The preseason MVP,
MVP, but there's just I don't know, and like Luka's pretty consistent, but there's this level of like reliability when Giannis is on the floor that I just think like throughout all the chaos of the last 12 months that the Bucks have had, he still offers to some extent.
I think what's nice about Giannis, and it's like what's been good about LeBron through his whole career, is just the like so many shots are at the rim, which really does protect him from a like, oh, my step back three wasn't falling tonight, so I didn't really have a great game. Whereas like with Giannis, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing with Luka. I think he's a little bit more prone to like he can have that bad shooting night, which can kind of affect the whole game. Whereas Giannis is like a lot less prone to a like, I shot 9 of 21 tonight.
Yeah. That's just at the free throw line.
Yeah,
but that's okay, big fella.
All right, who's next?
So we put them at 5.
Yep.
Wow. Oh,
We've got the
did
1
this
and the 10 spot.
exactly how we should not have done this.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, the Houston Rockets, a team
10.
we've talked about a bunch.
Yeah, 10 right there. I mean, I think you got to be doing a backflip if you're a Houston Rockets fan. Like, this season has been so fun. It has been so fruitful from a win standpoint thus far. They're sitting just a game and a half back of the number 1 seed in the Western Conference at 15-7, 7-3 in their last 10 games, with like a lot of super quality wins, especially late last week against the Thunder. It was just like a huge statement win for such a young team. You've been super high on the Rockets since even last season. How are you feeling?
Feel good about the Rockets. I don't think they're a 2-seed team. I think that's a little much. Their offense at times just kind of dies.
Yeah.
And what I like about the Rockets, which is what I think is so funny about them, is like the way Udoka coaches, and he's had this with the Celtics too when he was there early on, where it's like, hey, this lineup's playing well, and it doesn't involve my star players, so my star player just won't play for the next 20 minutes, which I actually think is smart.
Yeah, with how talented the NBA is, it's kind of surprising that that's not
the norm.
More popular.
Yeah, I talked about this game like I think 4 weeks ago because it was a bad gambling beat, but like they were down like 30 to the Warriors one game, and then he was like, we're just like coming back without Sengun, so I just won't play him for 30 minutes. And I'm like, it's working. Like I can't really question it. I like that he's like, especially with all these different chess pieces he has at his disposal, that he's very willing to like just play the ones that make sense in the moment. Mm-hmm. So I do think the Rockets have a legitimate coaching edge over a lot of teams because I've always been high on Udoka. But what I think is weird about them is like sometimes they go through these offensive lulls where like Dylan Brooks will be like, all right, I'm going to plow my head and take a 12-footer. And I'm like, all right, Dylan Brooks, you kind of got them a bucket when they needed it. Like it's weird that it feels like they're kind of reliant on moments like that a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, from a playoff perspective, I'm right there with you. I don't trust their offense. Like there's no one person that I'm like, oh, we got to get him the ball. We got to run everything through him every time. And like you can argue that's Sengun, but like
I just feel
there's so many other ball handlers on this roster. I feel like it kind of undercuts you if you're playing that much through Sengun.
Yeah, do you feel like Sengun is like, I don't know about taking a step back as a passer? He seems like he's way more dialed into score than ever.
I think it's partially just people know him now and like they're playing the pass more like like they were playing him like a regular big last season and the season before, and now they're like, okay, you're one of them. Like you're one of those Sabonis dudes that like we gotta be ready. And it's like if you are, I don't know. He's a big like Angel Reese. Like I'm gonna miss 3 times and get 4 rebounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Sengun used to be the guy that dump it down in the post and he might do like a quick flip pass or he'll spin off and find. I just feel like he's not finding cutters. He's not creating as much out of the post as he used to. Just watching him. Also, I don't know. The Rockets are funny because like I love the section of every Rockets game where they're like, "Hey, Amin Thompson, why don't you just drive with no actual thought, but just find a way to make the ball go in the hoop?"
Yeah,
every Rockets game is a 3-minute stretch where he'll take like 5 layups and make 4 of them, and they're all terrible, like super contested. But he's just so good, it doesn't matter.
He's like Westbrook if like Westbrook was like really bashful about shooting, which he never ever was, which honestly makes him a much worse prospect than Russell Westbrook, which like obviously Russell Westbrook was
really good,
really elite MVP player. But yeah, I mean, from a playoff perspective, I'm just like, you just know Dylan Brooks is going to shoot them out of
A game.
4 playoff games. Like it just the ball finds him so easily.
Yeah.
But
I
they've
will-
been awesome.
They have been. I will caution though, because the Rockets are 15-7, and the Lakers all the way down at 9 are 9 losses. Now, granted, the Lakers will play less game, but the point being, there's so few games that are separating these teams right now that I feel like the standings right now mean like nothing.
Yeah. In the Western Conference,
Yeah.
1,000,000%. I'm there with you. So, but like I think there's a reason why we're putting them at 10 is they have like blast through our expectations thus far in the season. And if they can keep it going, like I mean
they're in the best position to make the Giannis trade.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even like buy low on Embiid, I was thinking
Yeah,
about.
they're in the best position to capitalize on like all of these guys, or even like we're gonna trade for Jimmy and a star big type trade. Like
Yeah.
they're in position to do all of those things.
Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking like when I was watching that Thunder game about like if you call up Philly and you're like, hey, like I got Şengün for you. I don't want to give you any of my picks, but I will swap Joel Embiid for Şengün. How you feeling?
I think Philly would be like, you got to throw in a pick or another young player.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, I'll give you one of the Phoenix picks. Like that's
Maybe.
a pretty good offer that does not like destroy your flexibility at all with like the insane up. Like you're already paying a lot for Şengün once this new contract kicks in. I don't know. I'm just, they are screaming like the NFL building philosophy of like, you guys have like 4 starting quarterbacks on rookie contracts. Like go pay for your defense right
Yeah.
now. Obviously, they have a defense, but you get
I would get
my
your point.
football fans in the audience get what I'm saying.
All right, the last team who we've put at number 1 is
Question: is it more fun for me to spoon feed you what I think is a good number one, or just give you the team that?
give us the team
Whoever you
pre-selected.
planned out, yeah.
Okay, the Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll put them at number 1.
I mean,
That's fine.
now we all know that we don't actually believe the Chicago Bulls are in bigger panic mode. But
Yeah.
I guess now we have to make the case since we put them at number 1.
I wanted to just give you the Sixers, but that's cheating. So I'll
Yeah,
give
I
you
mean,
the
I
Bulls.
was kind of I felt like we were going to talk about the Sixers, so I was kind of waiting.
I
for
felt
them.
like we were going towards either the Sixers or the Pelicans, but you know what? We shouldn't have assumed.
we shouldn't have assumed.
That's part of blind ranking. We came to find out. But the Chicago Bulls currently are 9-13. They're in the 8th seed right now in the East. They are 4-6 in their last 10. Honestly, I feel like it's been pretty good.
I
for
can't
them.
lie. The Bulls would be near the bottom of this list, and I feel like one big reason why is because Zach LaVine looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, he looks like Zach LaVine.
He looks like
Again.
Zach LaVine. Granted, his contract is still too big for the player that he is, but like shooting 43% on 7.5 3-point attempts a game, 58% from 2. Like the guy's awesome. Zach LaVine's great. He's a great player. He's
How about Vooch on almost 5 3-point attempts a game, shooting 47%? Like, I think he is making a case for him to be like one of the main like focus points for the whole NBA when the trade deadline comes around.
and Josh Giddey also looks like a building piece. Like I don't know. I'd be super happy if I was a Bulls fan. I think one concern maybe is that Buzulis does kind of look iffy from time to time.
He had his career high yesterday, I think,
Yeah.
with 20 points.
But I mean, he's only playing 11 minutes a game. I don't want to be hard on Buzulis. Like, I don't know. I'd be pretty happy if I was a Bulls fan, to be honest. Like, all the pieces that you were hoping to trade are like playing well enough that like the Levine trade feels way more real to me now than it ever has.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Kobe White still doing his thing. His thing is
So
okay.
if you're the Bulls, are you taking the D'Angelo Russell and like a bunch of 2nd-round picks and matching cap for Zach LaVine from the Lakers? Are you taking that, or are you like, no, he's too good for this. We don't need to tank this hard to be bad.
That's a good question. What would you do if you were Chicago?
I'm not trading Zach LaVine unless I get like a unprotected first, to be honest. Like, Because they're not that good right now. And I'm sorry, but I can't believe in the Eastern Conference that just trading Zach LaVine makes you like so bad that you're gonna fall completely out of the play-in race.
It's just so hard because Zach LaVine is making 43 this year, 46 next year, and about 49 the year after. Percentage of the cap, it's 30, 29, 28. Like, that's just... He's going to be a part of a big three because of his salary.
He'll have to be.
So and he has the injury concern. I think we're maybe overvaluing his trade value because he kind of went from like untradeable to like now surely one of these teams, maybe the Warriors.
Maybe the Warriors. Like, I don't know. I guess if I'm talking about that Lakers package that we were just kind of musing about, I'm probably not taking that if I'm the Bulls, because you're not getting any firsts, you're not getting any young players really to like write home about. And if you're doing that for the purpose of tanking, like, I don't know if a Zach LaVine-less Bulls are that worse than the Nets, the Pistons, the Raptors, the Hornets, the Wizards. Like, that's 5 teams that you have to be worse than, that I just don't like. I think they're a little too talented even without Zach LaVine to be that much worse than that you fall past
without
them.
Zach LaVine and Vucevic.
Without Zach LaVine and Vucevic, and apparently Lonzo Ball is going to Charlotte via Snapchat reports from the Ball family. Did you see this?
The sleeper app was like, did you see what Lonzo posted on Snapchat? And I was like, it's time for me to mute sleeper notifications.
It's coming. It's coming. Snapchat's bad news, people. Get off Snapchat. Boys and girls, if your significant other has a Snapchat, if your significant other has a Snapchat and you don't Snapchat them, they're cheating on you. Let me tell you that. That was my public service announcement.
Is that like a personal anecdote? I'm a little concerned.
No, it's just bad news. Like, all the messages disappear. Mm-hmm. It's not good.
Yeah, I feel like doing this exercise, like constantly scanning the standings, has made me realize this is like an all-time tank year.
It is a good tank year. I mean, just ask the Pelicans.
Yeah. All right.
That was
our blind ranking of these 10 teams. We had the Bulls #1 panic team. Nuggets 2, Timberwolves 3, Heat 4, Bucks 5, Trailblazers 6, Pistons 7, Hawks 8, Spurs 9, Rockets 10.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bulls kind of fucked this up, but
The Bulls fucked us.
don't they always?
If we did a 9-team ranking, we'd be pretty solid.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Sick. We did it.
We did it. Hot streak shooting slot.
I feel like we're all instantly on streaks just because that was just so dang fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Okay. Hot streak shooting slump, the part of the show where each of us determine if our last 7 days of living we were on a hot streak or a shooting slump. Mm-hmm. I will go first. I was on a hot streak.
Let's go.
It was a awesome long holiday weekend. I had way too much Thanksgiving food. I had so many desserts in my apartment that I had to like call for backup to eat them because I felt like I was going to like have a heart attack because I was eating. It was just too easy access to so many sweets. And I bought a car.
Whoa.
I got a new car. Yep. I am a proud owner of a 2025 Toyota Corolla.
Whoa. Oh my
That's
God.
right.
I didn't even notice you got out of a different car this morning.
Yep.
I used to miss Patrick's white car with the Phoenix Suns license plate. You just knew it was him.
Don't worry. The license plate frame is still here. We are still moving with the Phoenix Suns all across the Southern California.
Max, it was a little cruel of you not to give us a little like Lakers Suns on the panic meter.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty random in how I chose the teams.
You didn't want
actually,
any
it's
audio
better that
spikes
way.
today?
Yeah.
No, you got one. That
Yeah.
Timberwolves.
That's
it's funny
true.
that we're talking about Max's team and me and you were way more riled up than he was.
Yeah.
That's probably you're probably a little more well adjusted than us, Max.
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching the car accident in slow motion over the last several weeks.
I feel
Yeah.
like the car accident started with the Netflix documentary.
It did.
Remember, I came in, I was like, I don't feel good about the Timberwolves anymore.
I know. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's the guy.
Timberwolves are the team that make me oscillate between like, wow, Ant seems like such a good leader, to the next day I'm like, holy shit, he's a child.
Yeah. That's the Anthony Edwards experience, unfortunately.
Like he gives me good leader like how T.O. like used to give me good leader. It's like yeah, he's great on the field. I don't know.
Would Jimmy Butler be good or bad?
on the Wolves?
Just for Ant.
No, we're not doing that.
I think it would be bad. for
very
Ant.
bad.
I don't think what Anthony Edwards needs is a like alpha of all alphas to come in the room.
Definitely not. And like an alpha who's also on the decline too. So like he still thinks he should be playing every minute of every game, but he shouldn't.
Have
Like,
you guys
that's
seen
not
that?
good.
No, the one thing Jimmy Butler is cool with is not playing.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that clip that it keeps circulating of Michael Carter Williams talking about the Bulls team meeting with
No.
Fred Hoiberg and Jimmy Butler? You guys haven't seen this?
No, I haven't.
It shows up in my feed literally every day. There's apparently like in Chicago, the first year Hoiberg was there, like 4 games in, he called a team meeting and he was like, all right, Jimmy, it starts with me and you. What's wrong with this team? And apparently Jimmy Butler was like, number one, I don't fucking like you. I think you're soft.
Damn.
Does not
That's
mince words.
tough. I can't imagine like in any work scenario. If I bring my team together, I'm like, come on. Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't fucking like you, Patrick. That's what's going on.
All right, hot streak shooting slump. I'm definitely on a streak. Thanksgiving was
Let's
great.
go.
Jesse bought a new smoker and he made a brisket. Oh my god, brisket is so much better than turkey.
Oh, that I saw pictures of that brisket.
That's
It
sick.
looked very good.
It was
Shout out
incredible.
Gavin. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I was jealous.
Yeah, I saw Gladiator 2, Max.
Pretty
I
fun.
liked it. It was pretty good.
Sharks in the arena?
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. I will say, so I have not seen Gladiator 1. Max, you've seen Gladiator 1, right?
I have, yeah.
I'm a little curious because I haven't seen it, but the movie starts out with a little exposition that's like, so here's what happened since the first movie.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't know if you agree, but the gist of the exposition was none of the events of the first movie fucking matter.
Basically, yeah.
So is that why people who didn't like the first one don't like the second one? Because the second one basically just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that it sort of like retells the same story, but with a new protagonist.
It's just gladiators gladiating.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that because I read the plot recap right before the movie started of the first one, and then the movie starts and it's like, so by the way, everything that happened in the first movie didn't really have a lasting impact.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, so
Yeah.
I didn't need to see the first one.
Not really. No. And they show you enough like flashbacks and stuff where you kind of like figure out like, you know, the important details. But it's a fun time, I thought. You know, good battles.
Yeah. What was the name of the gladiator? Russell Crowe, was that the actor?
Yes. Yeah.
Gotta say, I don't know if those were flashbacks. Those weren't reshoots.
Right.
He has a crazy dad bod in that first movie. Like that guy doesn't look like a gladiator.
That's
Oh,
funny.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good movie. I went at the Grove. First time going to the AMC at the Grove. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
nice.
it's
Yeah, it's
beautiful
nice.
theater.
The Grove is so packed nowadays, man.
yeah.
It's getting worse.
This
and
time
worse.
of year is the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
used to
so
live
bad.
across the street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I spent most of the weekend with my girlfriend. We had a good time. Just chilled, relaxed. We've been grinding through Better Call Saul.
Nice.
One of the greatest shows ever made. Love that show. Some good basketball, some good football. You know, holiday season is here, and I'm having a good
Hey,
week.
you've locked up your playoff spot in fantasy football.
I am absolutely crushing
one
fantasy
seed.
football. Yes, I'm having the greatest fantasy football year of my life. And the other league I'm in with the house league, as we call it, I'm also number one now.
Wow. Congratulations.
It won't last. Lamar's on a bye week.
Yeah, I had a devastating week this last week that almost pushed me over the edge into a shooting slump. I had 3 fantasy season ending injuries on my roster.
God.
I had Christian McCaffrey.
Ouch.
I had Taysom Hill, who I was patting myself on the back so hard for picking up because he was just eating in this game. And then he went out for the rest of the season. And it's looking like Dallas Goedert is also going to be out for the rest of the fantasy season. He'll come back later. But and if I win this week and I get a helpful loss, I can still make the playoffs. But it's not looking great.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we talked about this on the pod, but we kind of tried to force Max into adopting an NFL team. Did you land? What did you land on between the Vikings, the Bears, and the Chargers?
I think I'm a Chargers fan.
Okay, good.
There we go. Good choice.
I think I'm the one Chargers fan in LA.
And how did your Chargers do?
Not great.
Didn't they win?
Wait, did they win this weekend?
They won.
I can check that as Max.
Yes,
is
they beat the
telling
Falcons.
us.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
Sick.
He's a big fan.
All right, that's your week.
Well, the football team that I do care about is the Texas Longhorns, my alma mater, and they are crushing it this season. And we had our big rivalry game against Texas A&M this Saturday, and we won. It was sick. They suck.
That corner touchdown that he caught
Dude.
was absolutely insane.
It's really cool seeing Arch Manning too, just like get out there and immediately have crazy impact on the field.
That dude's got a hard nose and is an amazing runner.
Yeah.
He better be a giant.
I hope not.
Whoa.
No, but I'm gonna say shooting streak for sure. Or sorry, hot streak. I still get that wrong sometimes. But yeah, for Thanksgiving, we had a potluck and I roasted a whole chicken. Sorry, not a turkey.
Good call.
Yeah, I'm not that into turkey.
Turkey sucks.
Yeah,
Guys,
chicken.
I gotta
way
say, I had 2 turkeys on Thanksgiving, and they were both incredible.
better. Yeah. Well,
Just
Not
saying,
as good as chicken and brisket.
it's who's making it.
Let's
It's
just
who's
say-
making it.
I roasted that bird to perfection. Everybody was legitimately impressed in a way where I was like, wow, you guys all thought I was an idiot who could not like operate an oven. Thanks so much. But no, it was really delicious. Great food. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Good week.
Feeling good.
Closing out the year strong.
I feel like we need to do a Timberwolves deep dive.
I'm down, dude.
next
We've got a
week.
lot of deep dives that I feel like are coming in the very near future.
Fix them.
Wow.
Let's fix the Timberwolves.
That'll be a fun discussion. I already know how it's going to go. I'm going to come in here and be like, let's get rid of Gobert. And Patrick's going to come in here and be like, let's get rid of Randall.
Yeah.
What did Julius Randle do to you?
Nothing. I like Julius Randle.
Do not like Julius Randle.
You know what Julius Randle did to me? He ruined a team that I liked watching in the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They're gonna figure it out, dude. Just
They're
wait.
going to figure it out.
Just wait, man.
Hey, they probably will.
Rob Dillingham.
Rob Dillingham,
Believe.
in all of his 85 pounds, is going to figure this out.
Hey,
We're
that's
gonna-
my line.
Dante DiVincenzo is not broken. He's just cold. It's cold in
It is
Minnesota.
Yeah.
cold, bro.
Yeah.
It's even colder than New York. You got to factor that in.
Good thing that we are entering the warm season, right? Right? That's how
Yes.
the weather works.
Exactly. Yes.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.